everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Kritika Saxena. I head corporate communications for Tata Consultancy Services. I want to thank everyone who's taken the time out, our esteemed customers, leaders from across India Inc., our friends from the media. Thank you to everybody, and including, of course, all our TCSers for being here today. A huge round of applause for everyone that's made it this Thursday evening. India is at the cusp of a digital revolution. It is poised to lead the world into the new decade and showcase how technology can transform lives of citizens and at scale. For over 5 decades, Tata Consultancy Services has been a trusted partner in India's digital journey, and it's a matter of pride for us. As we leap into the age of artificial intelligence, TCS is committing to building a sovereign, secure, and sustainable foundation for the country. And of course, to accelerating India towards a future that continues to empower governments, enterprises, and citizens through solutions that are made in India, for India, and ready for the world. Today we are here to share our vision, discuss the role that artificial intelligence will play in the future, and moreover, reveal something very, very special. Now, before we begin the event, I want to take a minute. We would like to take a moment of silence to pay our respects to the tragic and heartbreaking loss of lives this week in Pahalgam, including that of a valued member of the TCS family and also the spouse of one of our associates. May I request everybody to rise and observe a minute of silence. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. As we start, we would like to first begin by sharing a very special video on TCS's India journey.
Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't spoken aloud. They are whispered in classrooms, stamped in passports, carried in pension slips, and written in every line of code that brings someone closer to a better life. Behind moments like these is a quiet force, a partner in the background, helping India rise. Tata Consultancy Services. Every day, we help process around 65,000 passport applications. We have digitally connected over 160,000 post offices, the largest postal network on earth. We power India's stock exchanges, where billions in value change hands every day. And today, almost 7 out of 10 Indians feel the impact of TCS. From healthcare to governance, finance to education, TCS has strengthened India's digital backbone. We've helped modernize how India banks, with a sharp focus on financial inclusion, built a digital bridge that brought healthcare to millions, made money invisible and digital payments possible. Today, we are powering AI-driven sanitation in rural classrooms, bringing 5G connectivity to the farthest corners and building indigenous semiconductor chips designed for a future made in India. We ensure our defense pensioners receive their dues on time, every time. We don't just build systems, we transform lives. Now, as India leaps into the age of AI, TCS is building the foundation for perpetual innovation, a future led by AI-first ecosystems. Driven by purpose, designed for India. Sovereign, secure, sustainable. We are helping shape a self-reliant India, one where no one is left behind. India is ready to accelerate, and so are we. We are TCS, accelerating India. Every citizen, every dream, every day. Accelerating India.
Thank you to everyone that has made this possible. Now, the Honorable Minister for Railways, Information and Broadcasting, and Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ashnive Vaishnav, was to be with us today. However, due to an unforeseen circumstance, he was not able to join us, and he does send his regards. I would like to kick things off by inviting on stage Girish Ramachandran, President of Growth Markets, TCS, to put some context as to why we are here.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you very much, all of you, to come here on this particular day. I was just watching this video and just looking at it, and it's so inspiring to see the progress India has made using technology and how technology has really transformed our own country. From AI revolutionizing healthcare to 5G powering smart cities, our country is indeed setting the stage for innovation. Some of the things that we are involved in, we're very happy to be part of this. As we said, we roll out, along with the government, 65,000 passports every day, which is not a small thing for our country. We built the Ayushman Bharat program, which is one of the largest healthcare programs for the country. We are also implementing the government e-marketplace, which is today considered the second largest e-marketplace in the world. There's only Korea, which is ahead of us, but I think it is once we pick up volumes, we'll easily be overtaking this country as well. So anything with scale, I think that is what we as a country are able to do, and we are extremely proud to be partnering with the government on this. Some few things. One is that TCS today touches 7 out of 10 Indians daily through our technology. Very proud of that. Okay. Our platforms and product businesses today are used by 35% of the world's population in banking, financial services, and insurance. And we're very happy that we connect over 160,000 odd post office in India, and we have the largest e-post office program anywhere in the world. So when we come to a launch like this, we think about what do we need to do. Okay, how do we need to start looking at India? And any offering that we need to bring to this country, we strongly believe has to navigate complexity, because there's a lot of complexity out there. All of us as ordinary citizens don't want to see this complexity, so we need to see how we can able to navigate complexity. The second one is a lot of new technologies like AI, like cyber, but how do we leverage some of these emerging technologies? And finally, every business is out there to unlock new opportunities. So we at TCS are using this simple principle while we design any solution for the market. We are very happy that we can accelerate India's growth and create a future where tech empowers every citizen. As we always say, if technology is not able to empower every citizen of this country, there is no use in having the technology at all. And it should also help fuel our own economic progress and position India as a global power. So using these simple principles, we have built a few things that are ready for India, which is the sovereign secure cloud that we will launch today, the cyber defense suite, and the TCS DigiBolt. And I'll explain each of them in a little bit of detail. What the simple way of putting sovereign secure cloud is India's indigenous cloud, made in India, for India, to secure India. As simple as that. Okay. There are three elements to it. The first and foremost thing is, whatever we do in this country, the data has to reside in this particular country. And that is what we call data localization. Okay. The second one is that once you have your data localized, it is important that whatever you do with the data, the governance of the data also has to be residing in our own country. And we need to have local governance. That's the second principle. And the third principle, we all know that at the end of it, all of you have multiple cloud providers. There is a heterogeneous market out there, but we need to work on this heterogeneous environment. So we worked with the MeitY and came up with fully compliant with the national data sovereignty. At the end of it, providing what is called a scalable, secure, and sustainable cloud. And that's something which we are proud of, that we want to see that each of the work that we are doing are powered by data centers which are green, and we move towards full sustainability over a period of time. So this is the TCS Sovereign Sustainable Cloud. And what we are also very proud to say is that we have built a platform which is called the Alpha platform, which actually helps you to navigate these complexities. You can work on your own environment, your data centers, but you can also, tomorrow onwards, start moving your secure data into our own TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. And by doing that, we are able to reduce the complexity and actually provide you with the full data sovereignty over a period of time. So this is what we are launching today. Built, managed completely by TCS. It's a secure cloud with layered security, and at the end of it, moving towards full sustainability. The second important thing that we need to start looking at is cyber. And why do we need cyber? If you look at it, not many of us know, but we are the second most targeted country in the world on cyber. We have something like a 300% increase in scams every day. But more importantly, we have 761 attempts in India per minute on our own data. So we thought that it's very important to look at a platform, and there is a whole lot of plethora of technology out there. And for all of you, it's not, you need to see that you need to unpack those complexities and make those solutions which are very easy to use. So that is why we are doing this particular thing called the Cyber Defense Suite. This is a solution today which is implemented in other markets, in the global markets, and we are bringing it to India. But it is fully compliant with the DPA rules of this country. And what it does is that it provides an AI-based threat detection layer and automated incident management, incident response, and at the end of it, end-to-end protection across your multi-cloud. So in essence, what we do is we provide cyber as a service without you worrying about what products I need to have. Okay. So this is essentially the second offering that we are bringing in today. The third one, which is very interesting, is that we are actually bringing in what is a low-code, no-code platform. Okay. Now, I'll explain this very easily because at the end of it, we are ordinary citizens and we need to start building applications on top of this ourselves. We can't go to coders to go and say that please build applications for us. Okay. And this is essentially what we are building, which is what we have got today, which is the DigiBolt. What it does is it improves agility as well as the speed of execution. We are very happy to say that this particular platform today powers the pension for the defense personnel. The entire aviation regulation sector in India is digitized using this platform. And in fact, we are the second largest country in the world who has completely digitized its aviation sector. And 3 major states in the country use this platform to power their single window investments into that particular state. So we are doubling down on our focus on India and strengthening this presence using these 3 offerings. And we want to dedicate ourselves to supporting the country's mission of building robust technology-led solutions that are made in India and ready for the world. And we strongly believe that some of these solutions we are able to take this across to other parts of the world. In closing, I want to mention that this whole event is a carbon neutral event. It is powered by our own TCS zero carbon platform, including all your travel. We have calculated the carbon emissions. And more importantly, we will also be feeding something like 2,000 needy at the end of this as part of our larger purpose towards this particular event. Thank you very much.
For decades, TCS has helped shape India's digital journey, modernizing systems that matter, empowering the institutions that serve millions, delivering innovation.
Good evening. Thanks, Kritika. It's really my honor to have all of you here on a very important and momentous journey for TCS. And first of all, I want to thank all of you. Many of you have traveled from different parts of the country to be here. And it means a lot to us. The fact that you would spend your time and travel all over the country to be here means a lot to us. And thanks for being here. For more than 5 decades, TCS has had the privilege of growing alongside India. That's where we look at, like, we have grown along with, as India grew, we also grew. And we showcased a lot of major key programs we did. But the time the nation has evolved, transformed, the nation has taken bold steps, and TCS has been part of it. In fact, it's been our fundamental belief. Some of you would have read our chairman's book called Digital Nation, where he talks about, for India to grow, it's imperative that we leverage the digital technology. Digital technology is not an option for a country like India. It's an important way by which we can bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. And we are very proud to have played a part in that. But I think today, with all the announcements Girish made, we started a very new moment in the journey for TCS and how we can help India and act like we say, accelerate India. This is a moment where globally also India is leading the change. Like, the whole world is also looking at what India is doing in terms of technology. Across industries, communities, every corner of the country, there is a new energy, new ambition, new aspiration to lead from the front. With the world at the inflection point amidst several shifts in the macroeconomic environment. In fact, last time we had a press conference, we kept talking about the uncertainty and shift all the time, and people are counting how many times I said uncertainty, right? It's a really uncertain world, and we don't know how things are evolving. But at this moment, it's important that we have to be very adaptive. To emerge stronger, we believe enterprises must be agile, resilient, and ready for the future, ready for the change. That's what we've been calling a perpetually adaptive enterprise. And we believe every enterprise should build that into their DNA. TCS strength has always been helping our customers in that adoption, in helping our customers adapt to these technology changes. And we do that by staying close to our customers all the time. We continue to focus on what the customers need at any given point in time, what kind of changes they have to undergo, and we help our customers in that transformation. Today, we are very proud to share our strengthened India focus strategy that puts the power of AI in the service of our nation and the enterprises in the nation. This is going to help us build on scale, build scale, trust, and an understanding of what India truly needs. Today's event addresses some of India's most pressing opportunities. I'm not saying challenges, these are the opportunities it's going to address. Modernizing industry, securing our digital space, and to make public services smarter and more inclusive. And we believe this is just the beginning. TCS is committed to building these solutions along for India, in India, and for the world from India. We will do so with sovereignty, security, and sustainability in mind, while leveraging our contextual knowledge of the customers with whom we work with, and with the contextual knowledge of India, the talent pool India has. So all of them will be brought to bear as we build these solutions. And of course, nation building is a very collective effort, and TCS has been very proud part of this integral journey. Like Girish mentioned some of the programs, and some of the programs we didn't mention also. Like there are many programs we've been doing where we are really proud of the nation building aspect of the opportunities that have been given to us by the country. We will work with the government, we will work with the startups, we will work with the enterprises, academia, because we believe today India is such a vibrant ecosystem compared to the past. You go to any IIT or any institute of importance, there is so much of vibrancy, so much of belief and confidence that things can be done in India. We don't have to look outside of India. So we will work with the entire ecosystem here to deliver these solutions. It is that collective power we believe that will take India to a newer height. Once again, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to recommit TCS to this nation building program and process. And you can count on TCS to deliver the sovereign, secure, and sustainable solutions that will accelerate India. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But before you get comfortable seated, I'll ask you, Kriti and Girish, to join us to formally launch the TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. A huge round of applause as we launch this very important solution.
Content area. Access granted.
Picture your nation's data as a vital force, steady and secure, much like the motion of a spinning top when perfectly balanced. But lurking beneath the surface are invisible cyber threats that are constantly testing its stability. When that balance is lost, trust, security, and national integrity are at risk. At stake is the lifeblood of the nation, critical citizen data entrusted to governments and public sector enterprises. To safeguard the future of India's data, Tata Consultancy Services introduces TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, an indigenous cloud with integrated AI designed and built to keep our data secure, under our control, and protected within our borders. Like a vault with multiple authentication layers, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud stands guard over India's data, protecting against data breaches, misuse, and non-compliance. With power of AI and a range of deployable AI use cases, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud is built on three unshakable pillars of sovereignty, security, and sustainability. In the digital age, data is power. With TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, India strengthens its commitment to self-reliance and data sovereignty. Experience the power of trust, security, and innovation with TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. Accelerating India.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Kriti and Girish, for doing that very special launch. But we have a very special message as well. Shri S. Krishnan, Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, sent us a very important message on the vital role of digital sovereignty and data sovereignty. Let's take a look.
Good afternoon to all of you. Today is a truly momentous occasion where Accelerate India, an event which Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, is hosting for us. It is the inauguration of their sovereign cloud offering in the country. I would have very much have loved to have been present here on this occasion and joined all of you on this historic occasion. I've had to travel for certain other official functions, but I must emphasize again how significant today's event is for all that we are attempting to do in the digital space in India. Atmanirbhar Bharat is one of the goals which has been set for India, and we need to have the capacity to address the various requirements that we have for the country. As a country, we generate millions and millions of terabytes and megabytes of data, which is stored in multiple places, not just in India, but across the world. Eventually, when we have to have a resilient ecosystem within the country, it's important that the most crucial data is stored in the country itself. In addition, as we look to apply more and more emerging technologies to various tasks within the country, especially artificial intelligence, it means that more and more data will have to be used, more and more data will have to be processed, and facilities to actually enable this are needed within the country. And to that extent, today's event is very significant, as we have a homegrown company which is launching this service, which will be available not just for users by governments and public sector undertakings, but even by the private sector and all other users in the country. We can actually use a lot of this facility to further build the digital journey that India has embarked upon. The wealth of data that we create can be used by our entrepreneurs and by our innovators to create more offerings, to innovate further, to actually see that the country is set on a growth path by using digital economy, by using digital technologies much more effectively. The digital economy has already grown from about 6 to 7% of India's overall economy to reach almost about, expected to reach almost about 20% by the end of this decade. When we reach that, it is important that we are equipped in every way to handle all the opportunities that it provides. And this is one of the ways in which we are building the infrastructure needed to enable that. And India is a global leader today in digital public infrastructure. And to that extent, the offering which, the sovereign cloud offering which is being launched today is part of that overall digital public infrastructure that India is creating. I congratulate TCS for creating this new offering, and I wish them the very best in working with all their partners, including the government, in taking this further. Thank you.
We would like to thank Shri S. Krishnan once again for sending us that very important message. Before we head into a break, we would like to share a special story about how technology can transform the world and make lives better.
Standardization in quality maintenance. Manually, it is a bit difficult to watch all the toilets. So whenever there is some gap, so we will be given alert. So immediately we address the problem. The success can be measured when we look at happy faces of the girl. So our girls are very comfortable. Our girls feel valued.
The future is going to be defined by three major things, which is climate, health, as well as AI. And what is the role of technology if it does not help the betterment of the society at large? This is how TCS looks at most of its technology.
Thank you so much. We will take a very short break for high tea. Refreshments are available at the Vark restaurant right opposite the main hall. So please feel free to freshen up, help yourselves, network, but do come back at 5:25, a lot more up ahead. Thank you.
Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't spoken aloud. They are whispered in classrooms, stamped in passports, carried in pension slips, and written in every line of code that brings someone closer to a better life. Behind moments like these is a quiet force, a partner in the background, helping India rise. Tata Consultancy Services. Every day we help process around 65,000 passport applications. We have digitally connected over 160,000 post offices, the largest postal network on earth. We power India's stock exchanges, where billions in value change hands every day. And today, almost 7 out of 10 Indians feel the impact of TCS. From healthcare to governance, finance to education, TCS has strengthened India's digital backbone. We've helped modernize how India banks, with a sharp focus on financial inclusion, built a digital bridge that brought healthcare to millions, made money invisible, and digital payments possible. Today, we are powering AI-driven sanitation in rural classrooms, bringing 5G connectivity to the farthest corners and building indigenous semiconductor chips designed for a future made in India. We ensure our defense pensioners receive their dues on time, every time. We don't just build systems, we transform lives. Now, as India leaps into the age of AI, TCS is building the foundation for perpetual innovation, a future led by AI-first ecosystems. Driven by purpose, designed for India. Sovereign, secure, sustainable. We are helping shape a self-reliant India, one where no one is left behind. India is ready to accelerate, and so are we. We are TCS, accelerating India. Every citizen, every dream, every day. Accelerating India.
Picture your nation's data as a vital force, steady and secure, much like the motion of a spinning top when perfectly balanced. But lurking beneath the surface are invisible cyber threats that are constantly testing its stability. When that balance is lost, trust, security, and national integrity are at risk. At stake is the lifeblood of the nation, critical citizen data entrusted to governments and public sector enterprises. To safeguard the future of India's data, Tata Consultancy Services introduces TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, an indigenous cloud with integrated AI designed and built to keep our data secure, under our control, and protected within our borders. Like a vault with multiple authentication layers, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud stands guard over India's data, protecting against data breaches, misuse, and non-compliance. With power of AI and a range of deployable AI use cases, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud is built on three unshakable pillars of sovereignty, security, and sustainability. In the digital age, data is power. With TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, India strengthens its commitment to self-reliance and data sovereignty. Experience the power of trust, security, and innovation with TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. Accelerating India.
Standardization in quality maintenance. Manually, it is a bit difficult to watch all the toilets. So whenever there is some gap, so we will be given alert. So immediately we address the problem. The success can be measured when we look at happy faces of the girl. So our girls are very comfortable. Our girls feel valued.
The future is going to be defined by three major things, which is climate, health, as well as AI. And what is the role of technology if it does not help the betterment of the society at large? This is how TCS looks at most of its technology.
In the digital world, waiting for a breach can cost everything. Cyber threats today are complex, unpredictable, and more targeted than ever before. From phishing to ransomware, enterprises are under constant pressure. As India's digital journey accelerates, it demands a defense that's just as agile. Introducing TCS Cyber Defense Suite. A globally trusted AI-powered platform now launched in India. 360-degree visibility, intelligent threat detection, automated response to cyber threats, supports multi-cloud environments. TCS Cyber Defense Suite empowers Indian enterprises to act faster and smarter. With AI at its core, it not only detects but predicts threats, enhancing decision-making and enabling proactive defense. TCS Cyber Defense Suite, securing India's digital future intelligently. Accelerating India. Imagine a well-choreographed orchestra. Every note flawless, every instrument in sync. That's what digital transformation should feel like. But behind every great symphony, there's a conductor. Introducing TCS DG Bolt, an AI-powered, cutting-edge, low-code platform designed to orchestrate your digital innovation journey. This unified platform brings together all the necessary components to help you simplify your digital transformation journey, accelerate innovation, and derive value. Build custom applications faster. Deploy and integrate seamlessly. Launch at speed. An industry-agnostic tech platform. TCS DG Bolt helps you go to market faster, reduce implementation costs, and stay future-ready. TCS DG Bolt. Technology adoption made simple, swift, and scalable. Accelerating India.
What unites us in pursuit of shared goals, keeping us in step as we navigate a constantly evolving world? It's the values that run through everything we do. It's the way we lead change. It's our integrity. It's our respect for the individual. It's the excellence we strive for. It's the way we learn and share. Our values.
Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't spoken aloud. They are whispered in classrooms, stamped in passports, carried in pension slips, and written in every line of code that brings someone closer to a better life. Behind moments like these is a quiet force, a partner in the background, helping India rise. Tata Consultancy Services. Every day we help process around 65,000 passport applications. Where billions in value change hands every day. And today, almost 7 out of 10 Indians feel the impact of TCS. From healthcare to governance, finance to education, TCS has strengthened India's digital backbone. We've helped modernize how India banks, with a sharp focus on financial inclusion, built a digital bridge, that brought healthcare to millions, made money invisible, and digital payments possible. Today, we are powering AI-driven sanitation in rural classrooms, bringing 5G connectivity to the farthest corners and building indigenous semiconductor chips designed for a future made in India. We ensure our defense pensioners receive their dues on time, every time. We don't just build systems, we transform lives. Now, as India leaps into the age of AI, TCS is building the foundation for perpetual innovation, a future led by AI-first ecosystems. Driven by purpose, designed for India. Sovereign, secure, sustainable. We are helping shape a self-reliant India, one where no one is left behind. India is ready to accelerate, and so are we. We are TCS, accelerating India. Every citizen, every dream, every day. Accelerating India.
Picture your nation's data as a vital force, steady and secure, much like the motion of a spinning top when perfectly balanced. But lurking beneath the surface are invisible cyber threats that are constantly testing its stability. When that balance is lost, trust, security, and national integrity are at risk. At stake is the lifeblood of the nation, critical citizen data entrusted to governments and public sector enterprises. To safeguard the future of India's data, Tata Consultancy Services introduces TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, an indigenous cloud with integrated AI designed and built to keep our data secure, under our control, and protected within our borders. Like a vault with multiple authentication layers, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud stands guard over India's data, protecting against data breaches, misuse, and non-compliance. With power of AI and a range of deployable AI use cases, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud is built on three unshakable pillars of sovereignty, security, and sustainability. In the digital age, data is power. With TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, India strengthens its commitment to self-reliance and data sovereignty. Experience the power of trust, security, and innovation with TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. Accelerating India.
Standardization in quality maintenance. Manually, it is a bit difficult to watch all the toilets. So whenever there is some gap, so we will be given alert. So immediately we address the problem. The success can be measured when we look at happy faces of the girl. So our girls are very comfortable. Our girls feel valued.
The future is going to be defined by three major things, which is climate, health, as well as AI. And what is the role of technology if it does not help the betterment of the society at large? This is how TCS looks at most of its technology projects.
In the digital world, waiting for a breach can cost everything. Cyber threats today are complex, unpredictable, and more targeted than ever before. From phishing to ransomware, enterprises are under constant pressure. As India's digital journey accelerates, it demands a defense that's just as agile. Introducing TCS Cyber Defense Suite. A globally trusted AI-powered platform now launched in India. 360-degree visibility, intelligent threat detection, automated response to cyber threats, supports multi-cloud environments. TCS Cyber Defense Suite empowers Indian enterprises to act faster and smarter. With AI at its core, it not only detects but predicts threats, enhancing decision-making and enabling proactive defense. TCS Cyber Defense Suite, securing India's digital future intelligently. Accelerating India. Imagine a well-choreographed orchestra. Every note flawless, every instrument in sync. That's what digital transformation should feel like. But behind every great symphony, there's a conductor. Introducing TCS DG Bolt, an AI-powered, cutting-edge, low-code platform designed to orchestrate your digital innovation journey. This unified platform brings together all the necessary components to help you simplify your digital transformation journey, accelerate innovation, and derive value. Build custom applications faster. Deploy and integrate seamlessly. Launch at speed. An industry-agnostic tech platform. TCS DG Bolt helps you go to market faster, reduce implementation costs, and stay future-ready. TCS DG Bolt. Technology adoption made simple, swift, and scalable. Accelerating India.
What unites us in pursuit of shared goals, keeping us in step as we navigate a constantly evolving world? It's the values that run through everything we do. It's the way we lead change. It's our integrity. It's our respect for the individual. It's the excellence we strive for. It's the way we learn and share. Our values are the fuel that keeps us pushing forward.
Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't spoken aloud. They are whispered in classrooms, stamped in passports, carried in pension slips, and written in every line of code that brings someone closer to a better life. Behind moments like these is a quiet force, a partner in the background, helping India rise. Tata Consultancy Services. Every day change hands every day. And today, almost 7 out of 10 Indians feel the impact of TCS. From healthcare to governance, finance to education, TCS has strengthened India's digital backbone. We've helped modernize how India banks, with a sharp focus on financial inclusion, built a digital bridge that brought healthcare to millions, made money invisible, and digital payments possible. Today, we are powering AI-driven sanitation in rural classrooms, bringing 5G connectivity to the farthest corners and building indigenous semiconductor chips designed for a future made in India. We ensure our defense pensioners receive their dues on time, every time. We don't just build systems, we transform lives. Now, as India leaps into the age of AI, TCS is building the foundation for perpetual innovation, a future led by AI-first ecosystems. Driven by purpose, designed for India. Sovereign, secure, sustainable. We are helping shape a self-reliant India, one where no one is left behind. India is ready to accelerate, and so are we. We are TCS, accelerating India. Every citizen, every dream, every day. Accelerating India.
Picture your nation's data as a vital force, steady and secure, much like the motion of a spinning top when perfectly balanced. But lurking beneath the surface are invisible cyber threats that are constantly testing its stability. When that balance is lost, trust, security, and national integrity are at risk. At stake is the lifeblood of the nation, critical citizen data entrusted to governments and public sector enterprises. To safeguard the future of India's data, Tata Consultancy Services introduces TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, an indigenous cloud with integrated AI designed and built to keep our data secure, under our control, and protected within our borders. Like a vault with multiple authentication layers, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud stands guard over India's data, protecting against data breaches, misuse, and non-compliance. With power of AI and a range of deployable AI use cases, TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud is built on three unshakable pillars of sovereignty, security, and sustainability. In the digital age, data is power. With TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud, India strengthens its commitment to self-reliance and data sovereignty. Experience the power of trust, security, and innovation with TCS Sovereign Secure Cloud. Accelerating India.
In quality maintenance, manually it is a bit difficult to watch all the toilets. So whenever there is some gap, so we will be given alert. So immediately we address the problem. The success can be measured when we look at happy faces of the girl. So our girls are very comfortable, our girls feel valued.
The future is going to be defined by three major things, which is climate, health, as well as AI. And what is the role of technology if it does not help the betterment of the society at large. This is how TCS looks at most of its technology projects in the country.
They are whispered in classrooms, stamped in passports, carried in pension slips, and written in every line of code that brings someone closer to a better life. Behind moments like these is a quiet force, a partner in the background, helping India rise. Tata Consultancy Services. Every day, we help process around 65,000 passport applications. We have digitally connected over 160,000 post offices, the largest postal network on earth. We power India's stock exchanges, where billions in value change hands every day. And today, almost 7 out of 10 Indians feel the impact of TCS. From healthcare to governance, finance to education, TCS has strengthened India's digital backbone. We've helped modernize how India banks, with a sharp focus on financial inclusion, built a digital bridge that brought healthcare to millions, made money invisible and digital payments possible. Today, we are powering AI-driven sanitation in rural classrooms, bringing 5G connectivity to the farthest corners and building indigenous semiconductor chips designed for a future made in India. We ensure our defense pensioners receive their dues on time, every time. We don't just build systems, we transform lives. Now, as India leaps into the age of AI, TCS is building the foundation for perpetual innovation, a future led by AI-first ecosystems. Driven by purpose, designed for India. Sovereign, secure, sustainable. We are helping shape a self-reliant India, one where no one is left behind. India is ready to accelerate, and so are we. We are TCS, accelerating India. Every citizen, every dream, every day. Accelerating India.
Thank you everyone. I see everyone's back after the refreshments. So welcome back. We're going to dive straight into a very power-packed panel. We are going to discuss India's digital leap, role of AI, digital sovereignty, and cybersecurity innovation in nation building. So let's bring on stage our moderator, our very own Tej Bhatla, Head, India Public Services. Good evening.
Thank you, Kritika. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, a very warm welcome to all of you. I really want to take this opportunity to once again thank all our customers who've taken time out today to be with us. Thank you all. So the events of the last decade or so, including the launch of initiatives like Digital India, Startup India, penetration of digitalization in the nation post-pandemic, and our digital diplomacy during G20 summit in India, I think has truly put India on top of the global map for digital acceleration. The AI and Gen AI revolution of the last few years has opened several opportunities for governments and enterprises across the globe. And as a country, we are well placed to capitalize on those opportunities. So in this panel, we will deliberate on India's digital leap, role of AI, digital sovereignty, cybersecurity innovations in nation building. And I'm privileged to have some very distinguished panelists amongst us today. First, Shri Neeraj Kansal. He's a 1993 IRS officer, principal ADG systems in CBAC currently. He's played a pivotal role in leading initiatives for transitioning core systems in CBAC to zero trust network architecture and steering development of comprehensive data strategy at CBAC. Very warm welcome, sir. Or lack of them, you do seem to have a sticky head. He's worn several hats in his career of last 3 decades or so, including CEO of Karam Yogi Bharat, National E-Governance Mission, and Digital India Corporation. And as of beginning of this week, he's started wearing another hat as DG of NIC. Welcome, sir. Last but not the least, Shri Nitin Chuk. He's an engineer and MBA, like many of us at TCS, and a career banker with over 32 years of experience. He currently serves as Deputy Managing Director and Head of Digital Banking at SBI. Prior to SBI, he's been MD and CEO of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, and before that, for 18 years with HDFC Bank. Welcome, sir. With that, we will start the discussion on role of cloud, AI, sovereignty, and cybersecurity in nation building. But just to lighten the mood a little bit, I hope all of you would be happy that after a month-full discussion of T for tariff, we are here to discuss T for technology today. So let me start with Abhishek sir, with you. Under your leadership, Government of India has created several path-breaking applications like DigiLocker, Diksha, Bhashini, Umang Portal, just to name a few, which have significantly accelerated the Digital India journey. I know a lot of work is happening in the AI mission now. Would you like to highlight some of these in context of today's event?
Oh, well, thank you. And first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate TCS and the whole team for launching the Sovereign Cloud Initiative today, because this was something that India needed, and who better than a company like TCS to launch it. In fact, we have a lot more expectations from all of you. Maybe Sovereign Cloud is the first thing, sovereign models, sovereign applications, and to ensure that India is able to establish its presence in the group of technology and how technology is evolving and how technology is progressing. So with regard to what you asked, with regard to India AI mission, of course, all the projects, our digital public infrastructure story is well known. And if you look at the last 10 years, 12 years journey, so we have kind of ensured that we showed to the world how technology can be used for improving delivery of services, how technology can be used for empowering people, and technology can be improved for improving governance. So whether it's the Aadhaar project or the UPI or the DigiLocker, the DEPA architecture, they serve as the basic building blocks which ensure the hardship the citizen face in accessing services, whether to open a bank account or whether to access health services or whether to do payments, is resolved to a great extent. And on top of these basic building blocks, with the APIs interlinking various databases, we are building a whole plethora of services across sectors: education, healthcare, agriculture, and many other departments. There are more than 4,000 services which are online today, and more than 1 billion transactions happen on a daily basis. So now with the AI coming in, of course it has become a buzzword in the last 2 years, it can actually enhance the power of DPI that we have built so far. In which way? It's the AI is today, especially initiatives like NLP and Gen AI projects are ensuring that we will be able to deliver services in not only all Indian languages, which is a requirement for a country like ours, which has so much of diversity, but more importantly, enabling voice-enabled services with an unstructured query. So we all are using the chat GPTs and the Groks and the Llamas, but if we are able to build up a voice-based LLM, which is able to take a query from a farmer or somebody seeking health services and give a reply back in the mother tongue, that will be something that we'll be proud of, that will be something that we'll be able to offer to the world, and that will add a lot of value to the DPI that we have built up. So AI mission is seeking to address many of these gaps. Many of you might be aware of what we are trying to do. We believe that we do have you spoke about tariffs and technology, but a very important thing that we have as India is talent. So based on our talent, if we are able to provide the other necessary ingredients like data sets, like compute, and like funding for startups and funding for building foundation models, we will be able to compete with the best. So India AI mission, through its 7-pillar approach and a funding of almost $1 billion plus, is trying to ensure that we have made compute available at a very low cost at 67 rupees per GPU per hour, less than $1 per GPU, which is much lesser than the global prices. And we do hope that our researchers, our startups, our companies will build up something which will be state of the art, which will meet our needs, and will also prove to be an example for the whole world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let me come to you, Neeraj sir, next. CBEC has been one of the early adopters of private cloud. I always call it cloud ahead of time in conceiving a system like Saksham 15 years ago, right? What are some of the key technology initiatives that CBEC is now looking at for next few years?
I think as Abhishek said, that we are on a digital transformation phase. And today, while in our department, what we talk of 3 buzzwords. One is being trade friendly, other is frictionless trade, and third is ease of doing business. And even from ease of doing business, we are talking about cost of doing business has to come down. So the next big thing which customs is embarking upon is Customs One. So presently we are taking about 72 hours to clear any consignment. So we want to bring it to 1 hour. So that is the Customs One, that is the future. It of course is going to be AI enabled and all kinds of technologies. Coming to the second part, in most of these clearances, we have a lot of other participating government agencies. Say FSI for the eatables, then we have textile committees, steel ministries. So we are going to have an API exchange with all of them so that they also give us the clearances beforehand. The whole idea today is how will you achieve 1 hour? 1 hour will be achieved if most of the clearances are done before the goods are landing in this country. Whenever you do these kind of technologies comes the cybersecurity. So that, as you mentioned, we are doing ZTNA, that is Zero Trust Network Access. That is, you don't have faith in anybody who's hitting your system. So these are the 3 major things which we are doing. Of course, all the future clearances, some of them in the present also, will be based on risk assessment, risk profiling, and so on.
Sure. And Nitin sir, globally BFSI organizations are known to be the early adopters of AI, Gen AI, and future technologies for that matter. And in India, I think nobody better than SBI as always being a front runner in technology adoption. So what role do you think AI can play in transforming banking services in India?
Well, I think the way we are looking at AI, and we've been practicing AI for roughly about 7-8 years now. Most of our models that we used to have as statistical models, they have all been replaced with AI ML models. So by and large, we have embedded AI in pretty much all our important workflows, which require any kind of decisioning. But I think going forward, the way we are seeing the whole technology evolve is that the whole context of banking will, because the consumer also is evolving at the same time, the whole ecosystem is also changing. We believe it is likely to become more and more intelligent, which also means that there is going to be a high chance that some of these workflows which are today powered by AI at the back end will start getting replaced with agentic AI workflows. When that happens, it can happen for, let's say, a B2B sort of an environment, but the real change will happen when consumers also start dealing with their own, if they have their own agents, which is something which also is not very difficult to visualize right now. So we believe, the ability for the business transformation to take place or the ability to not just replace an existing technology stack with a new technology stack, that is not really the interesting part. The interesting thing is going to be how do we keep replacing or keep modernizing or keep transforming the core business itself. So for example, like TCS is our core banking partner. There can be a point of view that core banking itself becomes a very intelligent AI-driven application, or can become just an AI agent, a bunch of agents, multiple agents, driving the whole core banking application. It may not be even dependent on APIs in future. It could just be dependent on some model context protocols, okay? Which also means that today, if we expose our APIs to our customers on the corporate side or business side, customers itself will have those protocols. So then the whole language of business, the language of trade, the language of cross-border remittances, everything will start changing. And that is what we hope that as we understand this technology and we start using it gradually and making it mainstream, 10 years down the line, it could be a completely different canvas altogether.
Sure. I'll come to you, Neeraj sir, second time. I think you rightly mentioned that you deal with a lot of other agencies, whether it is importers, exporters, entrepreneurs, and some of the inspecting agencies, as you would call them. So I'm sure in that process, obviously, a lot of data will get generated. So what insights would you want to draw from the data that's getting generated across so many agencies, and what benefits can be derived from that?
Earlier data was considered to be a liability. Today it's an asset. So because of AI, you can do so many
will falter, if we do not have business and tech working together with a shared outcome on this kind of goals. Third thing, which at least in terms of resiliency and scalability is, most of the times, at least what we've seen is that the key is lurking in the legacy. It's in those nooks and corners, the so-called unglamorous portions of things where issues are there and those need fixing. So I think embracing the unglamorous part is something which is part and parcel of this entire exercise, without which it's not possible. In fact, we have a saying that if you're able to do a release which is not headline worthy, I think we've done a perfect release. So the other thing that I just wanted to touch upon is, for us also, when we started, I think there was no legacy that was benefit of it. As years passed by, systems grew, business grew, legacies have got created. As a result of which, more often than not, we've seen people will fix symptoms and not the root cause. Now, this is fine for the immediate fix, but if you're looking at scalability and resiliency, unless we are ready to address the root cause and more often than not rewrite some of the areas and the pieces of the system which were developed years ago, it's not going to happen. And we have taken that challenge and we've done that a couple of times. We have rewritten pieces of software ground up to bring it to the modern scale that is required. Last thing that I just want to touch upon is, resiliency, unfortunately, is a very gut-based or a perception-based thing, because it always comes into picture when there is an issue. You may be working perfectly fine for 364 days, no one really cares, but that one day when there is something, people really feel, the platforms are not resilient, they're not working fine. So we've done quite a bit of work around trying to bring objectivity to this entire thing. Right from the telemetry, the kind of stress testing that we are doing, the kind of chaos engineering that we are doing around it, to ensure that the platforms scale and are resilient when they are required. So, in summary, what I would like to put it is, this is something which is a journey. I don't think resiliency or scalability is a milestone which can be achieved in a day. It's a daily rigor, something that you endeavor and you continue to improve upon day by day.
Thanks, Viral. Over to you, Amit. Last few years, post-COVID, has seen a lot of interest by people in investing in securities. I understand that the demat growth on the depository has been phenomenal. There is also much more online integration that is happening between fintechs and other market entities. How is CDSL managing this explosive growth? How is data security as well as ecosystem integration security being ensured is something we'll all like to know.
I think the biggest change that has happened or something that hit us very hard was COVID. Prior to COVID, India had around about 4 to 5 crores of demat account holders. We at CDSL were at 3 crore demat account holders. By the end of the COVID era, or I will say by 2025, we have reached 15 crore investors at CDSL. And in India, we must be touching around about 18 to 20 crores. So there has been a 5-fold increase in the number of investors that have come across in the market. And this is also reflected in the turnover what Viral was talking about at NSE. And as well as the bull run has also contributed to this. So how has CDSL benefited, and how have we kind of scaled our environment to manage this kind of load? We were kind of hit on all sides. When COVID hit us, we suddenly realized that the activity in the market has increased, so the number of transactions were going up. Luckily for us, the software layer, the application layer was not a problem. We could scale up the application. We had the horizontal scalability available. But at the hardware end, we were kind of stuck. We were stuck with the legacy hardware. We were stuck with the legacy HP UX kind of a OS. And we had to upgrade all of this in COVID when everything was under lockdown. And thankfully thanks to our partners and our teams, we were able to do that, kind of get in a scalable architecture in place, both at the hardware end and at the application end. Certain things additional things that were done during this period were more business innovations that we could get in. So number one was account opening. Account opening was made completely seamless. The Aadhaar-led authentication and eKYC were big contributors to all of this, so that the account opening became completely seamless. Another thing which the markets, all of you would have kind of opened a demat account, and you would have got something called as a delivery instruction slip, which is akin to a bank statement, a bank checkbook. So unless you have that, you will not be able to give it to your broker to transfer the shares. So now, during COVID era, where do you have the time to go and fill this DIS slip and give it to your DP? So this could never work in this kind of an environment. So the innovation that we had brought in was something called an electronic delivery instruction slip, whereby we did an OTP-based authentication to every transaction that was happening. This was a real game changer for all of us, because now the accounts could be opened seamlessly. Earlier, the DPs were taking what was known as a power of attorney from all of you. Now, you have blindly signed a power of attorney in favor of DP so that these transactions could go through seamlessly without giving any DIS slip. But now, because of the EDIS in place, you never needed to give this power of attorney, and this made the whole thing very, very safe. So now the fintechs took huge advantage of these two innovations. They were able to scale up across the country. You could go to nooks and corners of the country and get account holders. In this period, we have now been able to reach to 98% of the PIN codes in the country. So that has really brought in the growth. So I would say the growth for us has been both technology-driven as well as innovation in our business practices.
Thanks, Amit. I think both of you have two phenomenal stories. Let's come to the third one. Mr. Simli, Passport Seva Kendra needs no introduction. And we believe, and all of us have experienced, a lot of cases passport gets delivered the next day nowadays, which in earlier days we don't know when it would get delivered. So when you designed the system, what went into your mind? What did you think? How did you build such a resilient system? is what we'd like to know.
No, thank you, Ujjwal. Let me at the outset thanks to entire TCS, MD Sir, Girish, entire team for having me here. Many congratulations for launching your secure, sovereign and sustainable cloud. Coming back to your question, Ujjwal, saying that I think when we were starting Passport Seva somewhere around 2008, I was carrying some baggage in the sense that as part of the team who actually has started National E-Governance Plan in India somewhere around 2004-06. And those baggage really help us in terms of when we are starting, we are looking towards the citizens. Now, when we are looking towards the citizens, the first thing came to our mind is, can I create a process of something I call democratization? I think I'll start from there. If you ask me, today data is the new democracy, right? That's the first principle to begin with. You must understand the power of data. That's what we did. And if the trust is broken, so the second factor is how to create that trust. Technology, partnership, governance, policies, compliances, regulations, law of the land. And if the trust is broken, believe me, in my view, entire digital governance collapses. So how do you protect that? We are talking about secure sovereign cloud, right? And therefore, what do you do when we collaborate, when you innovate, try to sustain? I think for me, government and industry at large, when you're looking towards the citizen, our foremost goal should be, how do you protect citizen data and treat them as a national asset? And if you treat them as a national asset, another thing comes to my mind is, what do you do? How do you achieve that? And that's where I think technology, one side, policy, second factor, third is the ethics. All three works together. And if I go one bit forward, while you are doing that, I do believe that kind of a one breach, I generally say, one breach at a time. If you look towards the citizen, it's one to many citizens. Can you protect that? And that's the principle we adopted. You rightly said it's not even next day. I think many of the citizens, and thanks to our partner TCS, let them give a big round of applause. Not even next day, I think you apply for a Tatkal passport, and even before you reach your home, there is SMS coming to your mobile. And many of the citizens are calling us, is it a real SMS or it's a hoax? It's not possible. I have not even reached home. How is it possible, right? And the second factor, as I said, when I are looking towards democratization, I can very proudly say, or not me, it is the citizens are very proudly saying that we don't differentiate. Whether you apply from Delhi, Mumbai or Chennai, doesn't matter, or a citizens or villager or a worker applying for a passport services, any corner of the country, doesn't matter whether you apply from Northeast or a village of UP, Bihar or Jharkhand, or let's say Leh, Ladakh. I don't differentiate. The services are same, the treatment are same, the delivery is same. And how do we created that model? I think there are four key factors on mind. First, as I rightly said, the citizen, people. Second factor was the execution model. How do you execute such mammoth, voluminous, at a scale program? And that's where these innovation came into handy, becoming a partnership with the people like TCS. Innovating a business model where you don't ask budget from government. It is self-sustainable, right? And So that was the second factor, the execution model. Third was, which I call rules of engagement. You never ever forget your compliances, regulations, and law of the land, right? You always have to be intact, even when you are talking about a sovereign cloud. And fourth is naturally, nothing else can do this without the technology, tools and technologies we are using. So that's how I put it. Thank you.
In interest of time, two-minute answers, but I'll stick on with you since we are talking about passport. The Ministry of External Affairs has started rolling e-passports. There's a lot of data that a citizen provides to the government for getting the passport. What are the security challenges of your organization and what measures are you taking to protect that?
No, very simple. I think it looks simple. I'll say not in terms of protecting data. It's security, cyber security threats are always challenging. But you have to begin with saying that what we are doing probably, the starting point, what data, you ask the citizens, both sides, I mean DPDP law in place, both sides should be equally guarded saying that what data you are collecting and what for you are collecting, why is it collecting, why you are collecting that data, what data you are collecting, why is it collecting, and then the third question is how are you protecting. That's the third part. The first two is very important, whether you think of a DPTP law, IT Act, consent mechanism, everything, those first two, what and why. Third is how do you protect. And fourth is very powerful today after having all those laws in places, whether you talk about zero trust architecture, whether you talk about a independent, sometime today are calling route to the trust, right? And when I say route to the trust, which is very difficult because of paucity of time, but I would like to have a situation where can I have a encrypted mechanism, which is India standard? Can I have a kind of a firmware? There is no dependency on foreign chips or firmware. Can we have that? Not possible maybe, but we are approaching towards that. And third thing is very important. As I said, the end-to-end, can you create that visibility when you are looking towards the data? So these three factors comes to my mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A great story. Amit, over to you. The kind of data you carry, can a sovereign cloud help manage this properly and ensure secure storage and access within the country? Would that help you?
So the way we are different from the rest of the people in the ecosystem, when I'm saying the market ecosystem, is that we are required to carry the data right from inception. So for us, it's not that I'm just worried about your holdings today. I have to be cognizant of your holdings right from day one when that particular share came into your account. And if you look at it, the AIS statement that you see on the tax portal, that data is coming from the depository. So for us, that becomes a very critical set of data. And like exchanges and all, it's not that the end of the trading means end of the day for us. We have to keep it all historical. So, so in that sense, the data is very, very critical. And one of the reasons of this is that we have not really moved out of our own premises. But given that fact, can we look at a sovereign cloud for our data requirements? Yes, there are still areas which can be worked out. I would say our data platform. Again, we are highly regulated, so there are a lot of restrictions on movement of data or how we keep the data. But there are also requirements from the regulator for a 1:1 DR site on cyber resiliency. So if these two areas are where we can explore of having our data platform itself on the cloud, but not the primary one, but as a DR site. So I would love to kind of explore that. It would, I think, make a lot of economic sense to do it, and as well as from cyber resiliency point of view. These are two areas I think we can look at. The sovereign cloud would be a good asset here.
Viral, a similar question to you. What you have in abundance is data. and it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single hour that we speak about, or maybe every second. So how do you secure it, and would a sovereign cloud be of any help in holding that data?
Yeah, so before I answer that, I just want to tell Amit, the day does not end when the trading ends. So, nevertheless, coming to the question that you asked, so, I mean, I think it's a very relevant question, and it's something that we've been grappling with it for quite some time. And, conventionally, we have been cloud averse, and I think for a good reason, primarily with our requirements of latency, the compliance, and data sovereignty and cost control. It is something that we've not been very actively looking at it. However, when we analyze the various workloads and when we look at various things, I think sovereign cloud is definitely something which is a stepping stone for a lot of things which we believe can start from the periphery and then can move in. So say areas like reporting, areas like historical data analysis, areas like disclosure requirements and all that, which need quite a bit of a compute, which is there required at the time of reporting. We very strongly believe that those can definitely be looked into this particular area, and especially if it's a sovereign cloud, which, is something which our regulators are very comfortable with, then that is something that we would definitely like to look at it and, complement it with our architecture.
Thank you very much. I think we are almost out of time. And on a digital journey, I read somewhere that once you embark on a digital journey gone right, helps you build a caterpillar into a butterfly. But something that has digital journey gone wrong gets you the caterpillar even faster. So thank you very much for this insightful session. Really appreciate. And thank you for all of you for being a great audience.
Thank you, Ujjwal, for being an amazing moderator, and thank you, everybody. We'd like to facilitate our guests. Ujjwal, we would like to felicitate our guests, so we would request you to...
Imagine a well-choreographed orchestra. Every note flawless, every instrument in sync. That's what digital transformation should feel like. But behind every great symphony, there's a conductor. Introducing TCS DG Bolt, an AI-powered, cutting-edge, low-code platform designed to orchestrate your digital innovation journey. This unified platform brings together all the necessary components to help you simplify your digital transformation journey, accelerate innovation, and derive value. Build custom applications faster. Deploy and integrate seamlessly. Launch at speed. An industry-agnostic tech platform. TCS DigiBolt helps you go to market faster, reduce implementation costs, and stay future-ready. TCS DigiBolt. Technology adoption made simple, swift, and scalable. Accelerating India.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, when you're talking about artificial intelligence, it'll be absolutely a crime to not have our own AI head. So with that, I'd like to introduce our final grand finale of sorts, no pressure, Ashok, for giving us a blueprint of TCS's AI vision. Ashok, floor is yours.
Thank you. I think, yes, all right. And I hope the audio is on. I want to start on a lighter note. You know the difference between AI and deep learning, right? So the difference between AI and deep learning, start maybe with a short 2 to 3 minute demo of a talk to data voice agent that we sort of built using our Wisdom Next AI platform, right? And what we did is that we took data that's publicly available about Jan Dhan. And by the way, when you see this, you could imagine what you could potentially do with a mix of both public and private data. And what we did is to see, let's challenge the AI to see if it could sort of offer us insights about what it can see in this data and so on. And normally, like you see, whenever you use AI tools, that AI can hallucinate. Please be careful before you trust the answers blindly. But in this case, rather than the AI give the disclaimer, let the human give that disclaimer. Yes, sometimes AI is capable of making mistakes, but it is getting better and better. Okay, so I'm going to try this. Let's see how it works. I hope the sound is coming from the laptop as well. All right, okay. Hey, hi, how many Jan Dhan accounts do we have in India?
Hello. As of 2025, India has 55.2 crore Jan Dhan accounts. That's over 500 million Indians integrated into the formal...
By the way, do most of them use their RuPay cards?
Yes, indeed. Over 37.9 crore RuPay debit cards have been issued, and their usage has been on the rise, thanks to direct benefit transfer DBT activity.
So what is the share of women?
Women hold about 56% of all Jan Dhan accounts, making it a significant tool for financial inclusion among women in India.
So let's try something more complicated, all right? Can you show me Jan Dhan growth over the last 10 years?
Here's a chart showing the growth of Jan Dhan accounts in crores over the past years. You can see a steady increase, reflecting the program's success.
Okay, for districts in Bihar, which are the districts that are doing better than average for women?
Districts for women in Bihar. Darbhanga and Gaya districts have a higher percentage of female accounts compared to the average of 56%.
Hey, can you show me the urban-rural split of accounts for Bihar?
Here's the chart showing the urban-rural split of accounts in Bihar. Rural and semi-urban areas have a much larger share compared...
Okay, almost there, right? So the chart didn't show, but the point is that this is an agent that is not actually just being given all of these answers, right? I mean, you could just put it all in a document and say, please answer. Right? So the agent is actually understanding your question, and it's going out, fetching the data from another place, getting the raw data, reasoning through it, and then giving you these answers like, hey, which of the districts in Bihar are actually doing better, right? And you could really, really go. And now let's do one more thing, okay? क्या आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हो?
जी हाँ, मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ.
നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മലയാളം സംസാരിക്കാമോ?
അതെ, ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കാം.
തമിഴ് பேச தெரியுமா?
ஆமாம், நான் தமிழ் பேசலாம்.
All right. So, as you can see, not quite flawless yet, but yes, increasingly, if you compare it to what was possible a year ago, the fact that now AI increasingly is able to speak at least most of the major Indian languages, and it is improving, right? There's a lot more that needs to be done. So, on that note, I'm going to switch to our presentation. So, I'm going to start by asking you a very interesting question, right? You all heard a lot of fantastic insights about AI, what's been implemented, right? I have here on the screen two models, right? One on the right, on the one in green, as you can see, is 1.7 trillion parameters, has this huge bandwidth of 1 terabyte per second and consumes 1,300 megawatt hours of energy, right? The one on the left is like 86 billion parameters, right? Very, very small, right? 1 terabit per second, 1/8 the bandwidth of the model on the right, but remarkably only consumes 20 watts of power, since we spoke about sustainable, right? So if I ask you, what is the model on the right, there's a good chance many of you may guess probably the one that's powering all these big apps like ChatGPT and so on, and you'd be right? But what do you think is the model on the left? Most people I ask tell me that, yeah, it's probably something from a few years ago, maybe slightly legacy, and now things have gotten really, really fast. I hate to break it to you. The model on the right, yes, is GPT-4. The model on the left is the human brain. It's the number of neural connections in the human brain. Now, the reason fundamentally that we are at this sort of precipice where AI is going to change everything as we see it is foundationally again predicated on the fact that models have now become computationally more intensive and more powerful than the human brain. Again, this is not to belittle the human brain, right? The human brain, you can show a child one picture of a cat and it can generalize it to all cats, and AI needs 1 million photos of cats to recognize cats. So there are still very different architectures that underpin the brain. But what's happening clearly is we are at a point where we can say that over a 300-year period, that we are at this sort of precipice of democratization of something new, right? We democratized energy, right? And then we democratized trade. Then we democratized in the 2000s compute and communication. We see what we're able to do in India. But I think this next 5 to 10 years is the democratization of skill, right? The first time you essentially have models that can encapsulate all the knowledge that there is in the world in all languages that we speak and make it available to everyone to do many things at once, right? So this, in a sense, underpins our AI strategy, right? So if you really look at what TCS has seen in the last year and a half or so, we look at the fact that work is going to switch from being predominantly human to being predominantly AI with human in the loop, right? But this is going to happen very slowly and very deliberately. Some will go faster than others and so on, right? What we've seen is that 80% of what we're doing right now as AI falls in what we call the assist category, which is that the human is still responsible for doing work, but the AI is assisting them. Just to give you a sense of what that is, this is essentially AI as a tool or AI as a consultant, right? Everything from contact center, customer service operations, underwriting assistance, claims assistance, right? Supply chain, policy administration, legal contracts, service desk, any job that involves dealing with large amounts of unstructured data, they can all be assisted by AI like now, right? Obviously, code testing, software engineering itself, and HR, and so on. But I think in the last 6 months, something seems to have flipped, which is we are seeing the confidence in the maturity of the technology and TCS's own ability to assure that this will not break in production, to move from simply assistance to what we call augmentation. Right? This is the early wave of what I think some of the speakers spoke about, agentic AI, where the AI agent does one small micro task that the human was doing by itself, without or sometimes needing human supervision, right? And in here, we now start to think not in terms of use cases, but entire journeys. Sales journey, onboarding journey, KYC, you name it, right? Content creation everyone is familiar with, right? In terms of how AI is able to do this. Autonomous IT operations in some cases, and so on, in certain kind of risk workflows, and so on. So we are seeing here AI as a collaborator. Now I think we are seeing very, very early shoots of what we call transform, which is that fundamentally all our companies, governments, public services, our life, all revolves around us understanding how human beings make mistakes. See, we design our processes and our systems around how human beings fail, right? Now, we have to build this new muscle of being able to work with AI. So what we are now realizing is that unless you reimagine entire value chains, right, you cannot truly realize the potential of AI. And I think the customs example that was given is that you have to foundationally change how you think about it. That all the assessment has to happen well before the vehicle, the ship actually reaches India and so on. So reimagining value chains require you to think AI natively. And that, I think, is where the opportunity lies, particularly for a country like India, where we fortunately do not have a large legacy footprint. We can embrace and move really, really fast, given all our data infrastructure. All our compute infrastructure is all much, much more modern than many of the countries in the West, and so on, right? So this is the transform opportunity. Now, what all of this essentially means is that we have to mentally think about AI as a mental model shift of how technology works. What used to be databases, applications, and user experiences, and so on, is essentially now becoming data, models, and agents. These are the three pillars of really thinking AI natively, right? Data is there with the government, data is there with companies. Contextual knowledge resides in the head of people who are doing the actual work. Both of these together is what data is. Right? That's the beauty. Data is not just raw data, it's not just log data, it's not just documents, it's not just transactions. It is also ways of working and how people use their tacit knowledge to do work. That combined with the data is what goes into training models. Again, models are going to be both general purpose. You're simply going to use a model that's available from one of the hyperscalers, something that's available open source, something that already has a broad understanding of the world, and then we will fine-tune it to do the work that you need it to do, right? So there will be a wide range of situations. In some cases where you need to build an entirely custom model, and in some cases fine-tune many of these models into smaller language models, which we are doing. TCS is doing for insurance, for manufacturing, for finance, for fraud, and a whole range of individual situations, right, and so on. Now, the real value of all of this is that data and models do absolutely nothing, because agents is AI in action. Agents is really where the value of AI is going to get unlocked, right? And so far, the maturity of these tools to have the necessary accuracy, hallucination, guardrails, to be able to reliably do something in high-stakes situations was not there, and it is starting to happen. All of this together means that you will have completely AI-first industry solutions that work completely differently, right? They will have AI agents doing a lot of the work, humans in the loop, entirely new set of services, and increasingly, potentially, entirely new kind of outcome-driven models, right? The beauty of a lot of AI is that what used to be, we used to communicate with computers in assembly language and machine code. We switched to more easier to understand Java code. Then it's even more easier to understand Python code. It's just shifted to English now. That's all it is. The fundamental complexity of IT and technology has not changed. Technology estates are going to become more and more complicated. AI will result in more code being written, more applications needing to be managed and secured, right, while we actually handle all of this. Now, all of this essentially means that the path to value that we have seen is fundamentally about, one, democratizing access. Everybody has to be using AI at their work, at education, in their homes, in every shape and form, so that you understand what it means to work with AI. Right? This is a constantly changing thing. The second thing is really, really more important, which is the ability to prioritize and figure out what are the high impact, low complexity, low risk, scalable use cases. Right? That I think is very, very important. And this is something that we've been doing. Right? The third is essentially, in our opinion, really where the real complexity and money for a lot of us really is, which is the ability to build large, complicated AI-infused systems that are able to scale, that are able to be sovereign, that are able to be secure, that are able to be private, and do the things that they need to do with the level of reliability that we've come to expect, right? It has taken 10 years for cloud to reach that level of maturity. AI is just about a year old, and so it will take time to kind of get there, but it will move faster. But last but not the least, none of this will happen until people foundationally realize that you have to change entire value chains, you have to change your entire ways of working, you have to change your fundamental idea of what work and skill means to truly take advantage of AI. So I will leave you with two really provocative slides. There is something called Martek's law that says that any technology that is disruptive in nature, and in this case I'm taking very specifically a few data points around interactions with technologies. We started with highly annoying IVRs that all of us are forced to deal with, all the companies we deal with, and then you started having basically 4 or 5 years back chatbots that really didn't work, and then all of a sudden you have agentic voice assistants that can speak 80 languages, right? So this is an exponential curve, right? You can draw this as an exponential curve. Now, what Martek's law says is that exponential technologies, essentially, whenever technology is exponential, organizations and companies and cultures and governments can only change logarithmically, right? Whenever there's an exponential curve, culture change is always logarithmic, right? The more the exponential, the more the logarithmic, right? So the problem is that all of us get into this feeling in the early days of technology that, oh, this is overhyped. This is just small, Gen AI use cases, some chatbots and so on, and we think we kind of get it. but exponential technologies will overtake your ability to consume them very, very rapidly, right? Which therefore means that what we're seeing is that very small percentage of people will build AI. That's the data scientists, data engineers, AI engineers, and so on, right? 10% of any organization will build with AI, right? There is no world where the future of reporting, the future of software, it's all going to be AI assisted. But people need to know how to use them, right? But here's the real kicker. 100% of everyone has to become an AI practitioner in everything that you do, right? And that, I think, is the larger opportunity as well as challenge for a country like India. Now, my last slide is basically to say that, look, over a 3 to 5 year period, the fact that humans will work alongside AI in everything that we do essentially means that we need to think very, very differently about what the definition of work is, right? Now, any work or any job or any role that involves generation of documents, analysis, numbers, code, PowerPoint, anything that involves generation, AI is going to do better, but you're going to frame what you need. The better you frame, the better the output, right? Anything that requires brainstorming and inspiration, ideation, you can get a million ideas from AI, but you have to assess, you have to frame and assess. You have to frame, assess, and curate, right? You can throw a log file at AI and do any amount of analytics. AI can automatically write code, do data science, and so on, but you have to do synthesis and sense making, right? So you have to navigate human networks. You have to deal with people engagement and so on. So in a sense, when you really think about it, right, this combination of human and AI, where you frame the problem, AI generates, you assess, you get more inspiration, you do diagnostics, you assess and curate, you do synthesis and sense making, and you iterate with this AI, is essentially going to be the way of working. And all of this essentially means that we will all need not 1 or 2 or 10, but millions of AI agents that are deeply personalized, deeply private, most critically secure, and absolutely, essentially sovereign for all of this to truly make India a powerhouse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashok, for that fantastic session, demystifying artificial intelligence indeed. On that note, before we start closing, we would like to share something very special. As a part of our sustainability initiatives, we have arranged to serve 2,000 meals to the needy, turning our mementos meaningful, true to the Tata spirit of social responsibility. I would like to now invite Satish Doreswamy, Global Head of Cloud Infrastructure, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here and a privilege to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for being part of this event. Thank you all. Unfortunately, Shri Ashwini Vaishnav, Honorable Minister of Railways, Information, Broadcasting, Electronics and Information Technology, could not make it to the event, but he has expressed his wishes to all of us here. So we'd like to thank him for the same. On behalf of TCS, I would like to thank Shri S. Krishnan, Secretary Mighty, for his inspiring message. Also, I would like to thank all our panelists for taking the time and sharing their perspective. It was very, indeed, valuable for all of us. Also, I would like to thank our TCS leaders, our trusted customers, participants across India Inc. Also, I would like to thank respected members of media and all fellow TCS colleagues for being part of this event. We would like to thank our event partners, 24 Frames, our PR agency, Ad Factors, and production partners, Daydreamers, for making our vision a reality. At the same time, it is imperative to thank all our internal stakeholders for their tireless work behind the scenes to ensure success of this event. Today marks a proud moment for TCS as we strengthen our commitment to nation building. Finally, we would like to thank everyone that joined us online via our social media platforms. This is just the beginning. With your continued support, we will co-create solutions that will not only serve India's digital future, but also elevate lives at scale. Thank you once again. Looking forward to connecting with you all over the dinner. Thank you all.
And with that, I'm not going to stand between you and dinner. So thank you so much. You have been an amazing audience. It has been a fantastic evening of a lot of conversations. Please join us for an evening of networking and dinner. As Satish said, we have a showcase booths at the Executive Lounge. So please feel free to take a look at all our 3 solutions. Thank you once again. Let the conversations and collaboration begin. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.